We have seen everywhere lately people talking about narcissists and the mental, physical, and emotional problems they can cause. The issue is that many of those videos and articles incorrectly designate certain behaviors as narcissistic, such as spending too much time in the mirror and talking about themselves a lot. What we are talking about is true toxic narcissism, the kind of which has the potential to ruin lives. Here are the top main signs that you are with a narcissist. Have you ever been told that you are not seeing what your eyes are seeing? Someone constantly demeaning you, subtly calling you names, and making slight comments attacking your character. And when you confront them about it, and they deny, do they start again later? The toxic narcissist's main goal is the control of their victim, and they use strategic gaslighting as a form of emotional control. The hope is that guilt and shame would cause their victim into changing themselves completely to make themselves more like their captor, making their captor happy. For those of whom found themselves in a toxic relationship with a narcissist, the solution is to first speak up when your captor gaslights you, but do so calmly. They enjoy it when their victim gets upset about gaslighting, and when you get upset, they will turn to dismissing your concerns, trying to shout you down while voicing your concerns. This will leave you frustrated as your captor tries to force you to move on to the next subject permanently. After you speak up, withdraw your attention away from your captor. This shows them that they are not in control of the situation. Taking away control from a narcissist is the most effective way to get out of a relationship with them. When they realize that they can no longer control you, they at some point will become bored and leave you alone. If you are in a relationship and one day notice that your relationship with your family is strained, when in fact you were always very close to your family, there is a good chance that you are with a toxic narcissist. This is a very delicate operation for the captor, as they will only start to separate you from your family when they feel like enough has been done by them to ensure your loyalty. This commonly takes place after intercourse has happened a few times. They start with either asking you why your family calls you so much, or constantly calling you to do things for them. So what your captor does is to suddenly find many things for you to do for them right after hearing that you are on your way to help out a family member. That way, you won't have any time to help anyone else. While doing this, your captor will say negative things about your family members, as they will want you to only care about them. Sometimes they might even get angry with you if you answer a call from your family member. Another tactic of the toxic narcissist is to move their victim to another city, usually far away from their family. The narcissist wants to create an environment where the victim has to depend on only them for everything, including the emotional support that is normally filled by family members. In a faraway city, the narcissist hopes that the victim places all attention on them and all their needs on them. This is a sign of pure control, for by this time, you are no longer communicating with your actual family. Family strife usually comes as the victim's family sees what is going on and tries to awaken the victim to the fact that they are with a narcissist who is fully consumed with Stockholm Syndrome. With Stockholm Syndrome, the victim defends their captor, causing strife with their own family. The Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saga is a very good example of this point. The thing to remember is that if you have always been close to your family, don't take the side of a stranger over your own blood. I'm sorry, but if you didn't do what you did, then I would not have done that to you. To anyone watching this video, does that sound like an actual apology? To the toxic narcissists, an apology is an admission that they did something wrong. To them, they are absolutely never ever wrong, especially when they are in the wrong. Apologizing would mean that they would have to give up some of their power in the relationship. The only way they would ever yield power is to assert it later in a big way, mostly in the form of a tailor-made punishment. Trying to get them to apologize genuinely would no doubt result in an argument. This is not a joke. The toxic narcissist always assumes the role of the victim, even when they are the ones creating the problem. They are always complaining about someone and how they are wronged. By the time they are finished talking, there is no time for you to talk about what you want to talk about. This is another form of control, as they will have their victim spending the whole time positively reinforcing the toxic narcissist, the center of attention. I thought that you loved me. If you love me, you would do as I asked. I am not happy with that. What did I tell you? These are just a few of the things that the toxic narcissists use in their arsenal to control their victim. They create and or constantly highlight situations in which you have to constantly prove your love and loyalty to them. You want to do something for yourself, like seeing your family or friends? The toxic narcissist will normally suddenly find lots of other things for you to do for them. If you try to argue or even try to insist your point, the toxic narcissist will guilt trip you to make allegations that you don't love them and how they have done so much for you and how they thought that you love them. And just to prove that you do love them and cherish them, you cancel your plans to do what they suddenly ask for, even though, as it happens, more than it should. Just like that, in all other traits of a toxic narcissist, this is also a power play of control. Have you noticed that your favorite color is now green? You love dogs now, and you really like those videos online of people falling down and hurting themselves. But if you really think about it, blue is actually your favorite color. You hated dogs because you preferred cats, and you used to think that watching people fall down on video was a cruel thing to do because people were hurting themselves, or even worse. This is because the toxic narcissists began their secret campaign of removing your identity so you can become something that they actually want instead of accepting you for who you are. They have trained you to speak as they speak, to like all of the things that they like. You had nice quirks about you, and you used to like to watch marathons of Poirot or Downton Abbey. However, the toxic narcissist has no intention of watching those things with you, and will even go as far to convince you that those things were never actually good to watch in the first place. And you must agree or face a punishment, maybe of a temporary cancellation of certain privileges or an attack on your character. To ensure that the captor is not made upset in any way, the victim ensures that the toxic narcissist gets their way. Said toxic narcissists usually command their victim in various guises, from the passive command, known as the guilt trip, the active command, also known as the imperative, and the ultimatum, the do what I say or else.